Yes? No? 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 No. You don't like the... You don't like my collared shirts better, huh? Today we're going to be talking about yet another RPG. Just kidding. We're going to talk about racing games.
Yeah, much to the surprise of everyone, I'm sure, I do enjoy other video games besides RPGs. I mean, if the last couple of videos didn't already give that away. Long story short, I don't always have time to sit down for 50 hours and play through a big-ass game. Unless it's for the show, of course, but that's totally why I make videos for those games. Besides RPGs, one of my favorite genres is racing games. I like to get competitive, I like the skill involved, and the back and forth between my friends and I trying to get first place tends to be full of laughter and excitement. But I'm specifically a fan of arcade racers, the kind of racing game that's more about style and doesn't shy away from doing weird things or changing up the formula in some wacky way or another. I've never been super into the more technical racing games like Forza or Gran Turismo because my idea of a good time isn't part being the world's most meticulous stunt driver. As a matter of fact, a lot of my favorites don't even have cars in them. I mean, Burnout 3 is one of the best things to ever grace my PlayStation, but there's always a certain limitation to what you can do with race cars. A limitation you won't find in racing games without them, and a limitation that doesn't have to exist if more racing games took a page out of the books of some of the ones I'm about to mention.
So here we go. Here's 5 racing games without cars that are fun to play and have some good ideas. Where is this hand going?
Number 5.
The most opposite you can get to driving a car is running on your own 2 feet, and Speedrunners is exactly that. Instead of a standard race with laps and such, Speedrunners is about elimination racing. In this case, the person in the lead dictates the position of the screen. If a racer can't keep up, they fall off screen and blow up, similar to how knocking someone off screen in Smash Bros. KOs them. Once a racer is eliminated, the screen starts to slowly get surrounded by a glowing red light, making the boundaries of the stage ever smaller. This keeps happening until only one racer remains. There's a few power-ups you can pick up on the tracks to slow each other down too, and you can move so fast in this game that getting hit by the lamest of these power-ups at the wrong time can get you eliminated in a heartbeat. Yaha! Too bad for you, Susie Q's. You'll never catch me. Put a minor setback, but none can surpass the speed of... Speedrunners gets more interesting the better you are at memorizing the stages. The person in the lead is always the one with the least amount of screen real estate, which means they won't be able to see upcoming obstacles as well as everyone else, which means they're most likely to run into them and clear up the track for anyone behind them. But timing is just as important. A lot of shortcuts come in the form of manipulating the stage in ways you wouldn't think of in order to get across the stage faster. The goal is to combine the two in order to get across the stages better than your opponents do, hence the name, Speedrunners. The reason this isn't any higher on the list is because while Speedrunners is fun, it's also extremely repetitive. I mean, that's kind of the point of the game, but matches can end so quickly and stages are so similar, it all starts to blend together. Grapple ceilings that help you get over wall climbs, air jets that shoot you across the stage, slopes at the end of a fall that give you speed increases. There's a lot of the same stuff in each stage, and there isn't any attempt at hiding that by making platforms visually different, and I'm not sure there's a lot of staying power in something like that. But hey, there's a clear appeal here for people that enjoy replaying stages and learning exploits for optimal runs. That's what actual speedrunning is like, right? It's not the kind of thing I'd see myself putting a ton of time into, but it's easy to see the attraction. And I'm not being 100% honest right now. The real reason this is on the list is because Amazon warehouse deals shipped me a fucking broken game, and I wouldn't have been able to get another copy in time. Speedrunners was going to be an honorable mention. And you know what? Just to balance out the hole left by those fucking pricks at Amazon, I don't mean that, I love you, please don't blacklist me. Let's talk about another honorable mention that wasn't supposed to see the light of day. This is Kinetica, a racing game about people in gravity-defying motorcycle suits. All the Kinetica racers get together to race at their favorite hangout spots, such as Purple Metropolis, Donkey Kong Jungle, the Lunar Space Station, and F-Zero. That's what I've decided they do because you can't learn the story of Kinetica without beating the game first. Fucking what? Why? How is that even an incentive for me? Kinetica gets an honorable mention strictly off of premise. The concept of wearing a suit that has wheels attached to it is really cool. And if you jiggle the joystick left and right, it looks like they're running really fast. It gets an extra point for letting me drive on walls too. Unfortunately, this game's a hot pile of garbage. Gravity bending sounds like a cool gimmick for a racing game, but it's shorthand for, hey, guess what? You can't see 2 feet in front of your fucking face! Not being able to see what's coming up next on the track is a big problem when your game also has a heavy dependency on performing stunts in order to win. Too heavy. It's like an addiction. A crippling, depressing heroin addiction. You need the boost power from completing stunts to get anywhere near first place, and you need to execute perfectly, 1, because everyone else is faster than you, and without the boost you won't get ahead of them, and 2, because all the stunts are performed by doing motion inputs. This is a cool way to do stunts in the same way Skate does it for tricks, but it's used excessively in Kinetica, and that sucks. You end up mashing the stick to mindlessly spam out stunts. This interface is also trash. Like, I don't see this game ever performing well outside of like arcades, because at least at an arcade it would blend in with the rest of the racing games, what with the half decent font and the blank slate of a reason to play it other than it's there, maybe a cool chair to sit in. What I'm trying to say is Kinetica's got no substance, but it's at least visually interesting. If you take Speedrunners and you take Kinetica and you put them together, you get a crappy overlay effect. Wow. Number 4. I took a quick break to eat some tacos, so if I sound gassy, that's probably why. P.S. shout out to Street Tacos from Buffalo Wild Wings. Those things are great. When I say snowboarding video game, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it SSX? Is it literally the last snowboard game you looked at? That's next level, yo. That's technique. Deserves an Oscar. God, I'm such an asshole. There's a lot to like about SSX. Doing crazy tricks off of huge slopes, jumping from rail to rail on an endless grind, finding the little splits in the path, and even going off track to gain a huge lead. Oh god, I got carrots in my mouth. SSX is all about landing big combos to fill out your boost meter and using that boost to get ahead of the other racers. There's a nice balance between risk and reward that reminds me a lot of Burnout 3, and just like in that game, you can shove your opponents around and screw them up in order to get a huge amount of boost, but it also makes them more likely to go after you and push back. All the racers have their own little personalities and styles, and even have different kinds of relationships with each other. They heckle each other during races, and there's a neat element of realism whenever your racer yells at whoever they're overtaking. I was going to put SSX Tricky in this spot, but between you and me, it doesn't hold up so good. And Mac isn't an intolerable little shit in this game like he is in Tricky. When was air turntables ever cool? And I like SSX3's levels and traversable hub world more anyway. The levels in SSX3 have wildly varying paths, and you could easily spend a good half hour exploring each level's layout. A lot of work was put into making those paths feel different from one another, almost to the point of feeling like you've somehow ended up on a totally different level. Throw in the little collectible items that give you more cash to accessorize your racer with, and there's a good chunk of replayability in SSX3. You might have been expecting me to say more, but that's pretty much it. It's a flashy snowboarding racing game about doing tricks and finding secret areas. It's basically Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but with snowboards and a personality, and you're going downhill, so you might as well be racing. It's fun.
Like a runaway train.
Number 3.
This is Pitch Car, a racing game, technically, without cars. The premise is simple. On your turn, flick the little puck around the racetrack without flipping the puck upside down, flicking it off the racetrack, or going farther than 2 segments of the track each turn. If you do any of these, your puck's position gets reset to where it was before you flicked it. The first player to complete 3 laps around the track wins. It's basically a less abstract version of that game you used to play when you were a kid. You know, the one where you and your brother would see who could flick a bottle cap farther or do sick flick tricks off of the kitchen counter to land it in the garbage can, and then your mom would get mad at you because the floor was covered with bottle caps and all the soda went flat. Pitch Car can be a lot of fun once you get the hang of it and figure out how hard you need to flick the puck to make it do the thing you want it to do. Its strengths are in its completely customizable track and adaptability into an intense drinking game. The prospect of having to design a new track every time you play might sound like a lot of work, but it doesn't take long at all because you're just putting together pre-made pieces. You can get some crazy stages this way, especially if you leave it to my buddy Alex and end up with this terrible ramp, but getting the most out of your turn fills you with an incredible sense of accomplishment that you could rule over the rest of your friends with. Pitch Car's quick stage building makes me wish there was a similar practice in racing video games. Imagine if before every race, someone in the lobby was selected as track builder and they very quickly connected a track together that everybody then raced on. If done well, this wouldn't take a lot of time to set up and can pave the way for multiple levels of competition between racers, letting the loser of the last race a chance to build a track they know they can do well on and giving the other racers an opportunity to beat the builder on their own track. It's an incredibly simple game with lots of variety built in, and I recommend you check it out if you have a few friends to play it with. Just don't be a fucking cheater like my friends are. That's not flicking. You're not fooling anyone with that weak shit. Get out of here.
Number 2.
Snowboard Kids is one of those things you never know whether or not people have heard of before, at least in my experience. It's always either, "Aw, fuck yeah, Snowboard Kids," or "That's not SSX, so I don't know what that is." Snowboard Kids 2 is as close to a kart racer as you can get without actually having karts in it. You've got different kinds of boards, you've got items you can pick up on the track like speed boosts or attacks to slow down the competition, and you've got hidden shortcuts if you are good enough to find them. It's the only snowboarding game I know that actually has a lap system. After racing downhill, you have to position yourself so you can hit the lap bar in front of the ski lift. Not sure why this is a thing, since it means you end up clawing at the other racers to get in front, and it could mean going from first to fourth if you're really unlucky. That means using items at critical moments and really learning the track on your first lap so you can maintain a safe lead. It's nothing as detailed or complex as SSX, and turning is about as responsive as a coma patient without a pulse, but its colorful aesthetic and cutesy story mode gives it a charm of its own. Every racetrack in the story mode has its own backstory for it, and each of them is set up like an episode out of a cartoon. A lot of the characters just fill out archetypes you'd expect to find in a kid's show, but everyone talks through speech bubbles and tiny sound bites, and it's delightful. So cute. The story mode's also got a cool boss fight here and there that mixes up the racing a bit. Snowboard Kids 2 most likely won't be as engaging for you as it might be for a younger audience, but don't let that stop you from playing it when you get the itch to play something simple. Heck, it's the perfect kind of game to play with your little cousins or your kids if you want to show them a good racing game that they'll get a lot of enjoyment out of.
Number 1. Hydro Thunder!
I mean, come on. Come on. The minute you heard that announcer yell that out in whatever arcade you were in, you knew. Good times ahead, and if they had the multiplayer mode, oh, may the arcade owners have mercy on your pockets full of change. Hydro Thunder is style. Hydro Thunder is skill. Hydro Thunder is bullshit checkpoint times that leave absolutely no room for error so it can steer your goddamn quarters when all you wanted to do was race through Ship Graveyard once and go play Silent Scope. Nobody's perfect, I guess, but man, does Hydro Thunder make up for it. It's a good racing game, but who fucking cares about that? Chain all those boosts together to go crazy fast and ram the shit out of the other racers. Get the fuck out of my way! Your waifu is garbage! Eat a dick! You might think this game has an unfair advantage, what with being part of an arcade machine and all. It's hard to compete with the act of sitting in the chair, cranking the throttle all the way up, gripping the steering wheel, and pushing down that boost button. But I gotta tell you, the console version of Hydro Thunder gave me the same tingly feeling of adrenaline with its amazing sound design. The motors, the boat skidding across the place, the water spraying off the sides, the guy that comes over the intercom whenever you pick up more boost or start to run out of time, and the announcer!
Midway!
Is this guy still alive? Because I want him to officiate my life. Kiss the bride! Happy birthday! Renew your premium! And the music, well, actually, the music's just alright, but all of that comes together in this loud cacophony that just makes you want to scream at the top of your lungs whenever you take off a ramp and soar through the air like some kind of boat ballerina. But honestly, what sells me on Hydro Thunder is its stages. You know what more racing games need nowadays? Ridiculous set pieces, and this game has a bunch of them. Jumping through erupting volcanoes, suddenly having a pirate ship join the race, and this stage. I'm not even going to go into detail, just look at the shit happening in this stage. None of it actually affects the race at all, but it adds a sense of adventure to it. It makes it feel more exciting, and that's largely what you want out of high-speed racing, right? I'm not even that good at Hydro Thunder, but because I'm having so much fun boosting into other racers and flying into ancient Egyptian space, I don't care. Think about that. How many racing games can say they're still fun to play even when you're constantly losing? Not many, but Hydro Thunder can, and that's why it's one of my favorites. 4 quarters of fucking race is expensive, though.
There you go, 5 racing games without cars. I hope you found something you liked in this list, because I mean, it's stuff I like. Until next time, though, my name's GC. Remember that you are amazing, and keep on playing positive.
And welcome back to another end card speechy thingy that doesn't sound anything like the way I did in the episode. How you folks doing? You doing good? I'm doing good. I'm doing great. For those of you that don't know, my name's GC and I'm a positive kind of guy. I've got more videos for you to check out if you're interested. You just gotta click on either of the 2 box things over there on the right. Sometimes I change it and I forget where they are. And if you want to support me in my endeavor to make stupid jokes on the internet, you can subscribe to my channel, that's a thing, as well as telling your friends about me. Subscribing lets you know immediately when a new episode comes out, but if you want live updates on where I am in making the next video, or just want to hear me talk about video games, or want to ask me questions, or want to hear me yell about Star Trek sometimes, I guess, you can follow me on my Twitter. But until next time, once again, my name's GC, remember that you are amazing, and keep on playing positive. See you later, guys.